The Langham, where the tradition of afternoon tea first began in London. This year marks the 160th anniversary of their iconic afternoon tea, and I could not think of a better time to visit. Every detail, from the finger sandwiches to the indulgent pastries, felt high quality and refined. But what truly made it special was the service. It was warm, attentive, and worthy of a milestone celebration. So let me take you inside the Langham for an iconic afternoon tea experience. Hello and welcome back for another afternoon tea review. As you can probably see, I am under an umbrella once again because today it is very rainy and windy in London, honestly. My umbrella's already blown inside out once, so I'm hoping that doesn't happen again on my way over, but I'm walking over to the Langham right now because that is where we're going for afternoon tea. And I didn't realise this, but the Langham is apparently where afternoon tea originated in London. So it's very exciting to be going to the first ever afternoon tea, and it's their 160th anniversary of the afternoon tea. So they've got a special service on, and I'm very excited to try it and to let you guys know whether the Langham is worth going to. I feel like because of the historical nature of their afternoon tea, it's probably worth giving a go. And I don't know if many people know that that is where afternoon tea originates from. But yeah, I'm excited to try it and to see what I think. I am honestly not enjoying this weather. My shoes are soaked. My hair is damp because there's only so much an umbrella can do when it's this windy in London. But I'm hoping I'm not going to arrive looking too frazzled. But we're nearly there. So let me show you what the front of this hotel looks like because it is gorgeous. Okay, so I am walking up to the Langham now. It's, as you can see, quite grey and rainy in London today. We definitely have left summer behind us now. And over this past weekend, it's been the bank holiday weekend, and there's been Notting Hill Carnival on, and we had the most incredible sunshine. So this is quite a drastic change in temperature and weather from even what it was like yesterday evening. So the Langham is this building right ahead of us, and it is a very traditional hotel in London. Looks absolutely gorgeous. I love the building. And I can't remember what the name of the room is that the afternoon tea is in, but once we get in there, I'll let you guys know once I'm sat down and all set up. Okay, so I've sat down at my table now, and it is gorgeous in here. It is a beautiful setting. I definitely recommend coming here for afternoon tea. So the room that they do their afternoon tea in is called the Palm Court. It's right across from the entrance to the hotel. You literally go in the front entrance of the hotel and keep walking straight and you'll get to Palm Court. Like I said, beautiful in here. I will insert some clips so you guys can see what the room looks like, but also what the individual tables look like. It's just so nicely set up, and they've given me the menu for the afternoon tea and then also a drinks menu. So let's take a look at the afternoon tea menu. So afternoon tea here is £85 per person for the traditional afternoon tea. You get finger sandwiches and savouries, and then you get your cakes and pastries and your classic and raisin scones, and then they get some Queen of Ices at the end for you to share. I don't know what those are, but we will see when we get to them. And you can upgrade your afternoon tea to £100 with a glass of champagne, which I think is pretty standard. So I think the pricing here is one of the more expensive ones in London, but it looks like it's going to live up to that service. Already when I came in, they explained to me what the service would be like. They encouraged me to try a few different teas during my time here, so I'm sure I will be very well looked after. And they do have some of the teas listed in here, but then also in the drinks menu, they have a single garden teas menu here, just on a piece of paper. So I think you can get these included as well. I'm going to ask them for their guidance when it comes to the teas, because I'm interested to see what they recommend and whether there's some new ones that I can try that I wouldn't normally go for. The table setting as well is gorgeous. I will show you what it all looks like, but the crockery, so the teacup and the saucer that it comes with, are both matching and they are beautiful. And then you've got your little napkin here as well that's embroidered, and I think that's just a really lovely touch. So yeah, everything looks really beautiful. I'm really excited to start the afternoon tea service. So I've decided to start with an Earl Grey tea, which is very unlike me. Normally I stick to the herbal teas, but it was recommended, so I'm excited to see what I think. I've had the tea arrive and it's been poured for me, which is really nice. I always love when they do that. I think it's a nice touch to the service. So it is in the teacup here. I'll insert some clips close up of this so you can see what it looks like. But I love the crockery here. And the tea comes in a silver teapot, which I feel like feels a bit more classic than when they've got completely matching with the rest of the crockery. They've got the tea strainer as well that they give you so you don't get any bits of tea into your teacup. And then also they've just given me a little bit of milk in the cutest little milk jug. Look at that. How cute does that look? And I just got whole milk with this, but they did say they offer a variety of milks, so you can have pretty much whatever you want, I think. I am going to pour a little bit of milk into my tea, and then I will try it and let you guys know what I think. So let's see what I think of this Earl Grey. Firstly, it smells amazing, so I'm going to try it now. That is really, really nice. I will say, Earl Grey always reminds me of being at home. It was my parents' favourite tea to have at home. So it just reminds me of the smells and the feeling of being in our family home, which is really nice and comforting. I think I'm going to really enjoy this, but I'm looking forward to trying some of the other teas as we go through the service. So the sandwich platter has now arrived with me, and the platter actually matches the rest of the crockery, which again, I really love those sorts of bits of attention to detail. And you've got 4 sandwiches here and a tart. So it's a cheese tart, and then there's a coronation chicken sandwich, smoked salmon sandwich, truffle egg mayo sandwich, and a cucumber sandwich. And they all look really good. So I'm really excited to try these and to see what I think. I am going to start with the tart just because it's the smallest item on here and it's right at the top of the plate. So let's try this and see what we think. That is really, really tasty. I'm not gonna lie. When I bit into it, it kind of exploded a bit everywhere, but it's really tasty. So I would say eat that in one go just to avoid it going everywhere. But it's a nice start to the savory course. Okay, next I'm gonna try the smoked salmon sandwich, which is on a seeded brown bread. So this is what it looks like here. It's very nicely filled, looks really good. I'm gonna try this and I'll let you guys know what I think. That is also a really nice classic flavor. Really tasty, really good quality. I will also say the cream cheese in that has a really nice tang to it, which really complements the smoked salmon well. Sometimes with the smoked salmon sandwiches, if they skip on the cream cheese or they use one that doesn't have too much flavor to it, I feel like it's just not as good from a flavor profile perspective, but that is really lovely and I could go for a second of that one. Okay, next let's have our coronation chicken sandwich, and it is on this very visually appealing yellow bread. I'm intrigued to see how good this is because we've tried a few coronation chicken sandwiches now. So let's see how this compares. That's really tasty as well. I actually really like that. It's more of a subtle coronation chicken flavor, but it's really delicious and really high quality. Is it my favorite coronation chicken sandwich we've ever had? Probably not, but I still think it's really good and lives up to the value that they've priced this at. Okay, third, I'm gonna go in to my least favorite of the sandwiches, which is the cucumber. This is on a plain white bread. Let's see what we think. Typically, I don't tend to like these. I just don't particularly like cucumber, but I'll give you an honest review compared to the other cucumber sandwiches I've tried. It's a nice cucumber sandwich. It's a really nice crispy cucumber in there. It's got a bit of cream in there as well with it. I actually think that would be quite a good palate cleanser at the end of this service. So I'd probably save the cucumber sandwich for last if you're a fan of them, just to clean your palate a bit before you go on to the pastries and the scones. And then finally, we have our egg mayonnaise sandwich to try. And this is a truffle egg mayonnaise sandwich. I have been missing the truffle in the sandwiches. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a massive truffle fan. So I'm really pleased that they've put truffle in this. Let's try it and see what we think. That is my favorite of the 4. The truffle just really elevates it and makes it feel a little bit more special than just a plain egg mayonnaise sandwich. So overall with the sandwiches, I'm really enjoying them. I'm going to finish these off now, and then once the pastries and the scones arrive, I will show you what they look like and I'll let you know my thoughts. So I've just finished with the sandwiches now. They were really, really good. Perfect way to start the afternoon tea. And I've just ordered another tea for me to try. So I went with the Phoenix Honey Orchard, which is a Shangji garden tea. It originates from China. It's dark roasted and fragrant with notes of orange, vanilla and honey, which sounds so good. So I'm really excited to try that and to see what I think. I've asked for my scones to come out first, and then to end with the pastries. They did ask me what order I wanted things to come out in, so that was really great. So now I'm just waiting for the scones to come out, and then I will have those with this new tea that I'm going to try. They did also say with the sandwiches, they are refillable. I just don't tend to get refills on the sandwiches when it's just me on my own, because otherwise I will not be able to get through the rest of the afternoon tea service. There's no way. So I've just left it at the ones that they provided me with, and they were really lovely, so I was very happy with those. The atmosphere in here is really, really lovely. It's not too busy actually, so I would say booking here, I don't think it would be too hard to get a booking, which is great. And they currently just have some piano music playing, but I do know they do live music, I think from 1 p.m. onwards. It's currently 5 to 1 now. I booked for 12:30. So just keep that in mind, that until about 1 p.m. it's just piano music playing through the room, and then it will switch to live music. And if it does while I'm here, obviously I'll record while they're playing the music so you can see what the volumes are like, and I can tell you what it's like and all of that sort of stuff. But yeah, let's just wait for the scones and this new tea to arrive, and then we can carry on with our review. So the Phoenix tea has just arrived with me now. It smells so good, so I'm very excited to try this, and I will let you guys know what I think. I think it's great coming to these afternoon teas to just try a few different teas while you're here if you can. You might as well get the most out of your money for what you're spending, and where this is a much more expensive one, I always like to try a few teas just to make it worth my while. So let's see what we think of this one. It's a really lovely flavour. It kind of tastes like peach actually. I know it's got orange and vanilla in there, and I think honey as well, but it's got a peachy flavour to it. So it's like a fruity tea, but without being overly sweet. And I actually really like this. It's a lovely light tea. I think it's going to go perfectly with the scones. Go ahead. Great, thank you.
Scones, you have the raspberry clotted pickled jam, plain scones, raisin one, and caramelized white chocolate with the strawberry, and white cream in the top with the chocolate stick.
Great, thank you so much. My scones have arrived with me. Honestly, the presentation of these is gorgeous. They are on a silver platter, and then you've got 2 jams. So I think it's an apricot jam, a raspberry jam, and a clotted cream that come with them. And they've also given me a little sweet treat that looks like a little ice cream cone, which I can't wait to try. But I'm going to start with the scones, and I'm very happy to tell you guys that they have brought these over warm, which we know gets some plus points in my book when it comes to afternoon tea. So I'm going to just grab these off of the platter now, and then we can try them. They both look very visually appealing. Look at these, they just look so perfect to me. So I'm very excited to get stuck into these and to see what we think. I'm going to start with this scone, which I think is the plain scone. Oh no, it's not. This is the raisin scone. I can just see it's got the sultanas in it. So let's start with this one. And I'm going to use the clotted cream and the raspberry jam on this one. They gave me 2 spoons as well, so I can use one for the cream and one for the jams, which again, attention to detail, stuff like that, I think makes a really big difference. I'm all right for now, actually.
Yeah,
thank you.
The scones that are unlimited, so that's
oh, perfect. Okay, great.
Later on, even in the middle of
Yes,
the
okay, yeah. I'll let you know. Thank you. And I will say the jams and the creams come in these little pots which match with the rest of the crockery for the service. The plate that they've put in front of me, I'll just quickly show it to you. It does have my scones on it, so let's hope I don't drop them. But it's the same sort of crockery. I don't know if I can actually show you properly, but basically it all matches is what I'm trying to say, which again, I feel like is great attention to detail, really makes it feel a bit more special. I will say with the cream though, it is a little bit too cold for me, which just makes it a bit tricky to spread. And that's just me being super nitpicky, just to tell you guys exactly what the service is like and just things that I've noticed. I wish it was a little bit warmer, just so it was easier to spread onto your scones and you're not having to fight to get it on there. I'm gonna put the raspberry jam on here as well. This is a really beautiful, vibrant color, and I guarantee this is gonna taste phenomenal. So here is the scone all loaded up. It looks so good. I can't wait to eat this. I will let you guys know what I think. That is a really tasty scone. It's perfectly warm. The cream and the jam go really nicely with it. The only quibble, little thing that I have, is I just wish that the cream and the jam weren't so cold, just because they would be easier to spread that way. But that is just a really, really minor thing that I'm pointing out. just, you know, just for the sake of pointing things out to you guys. Now, I will say they have also just told me that the scones here are unlimited. So you can have as many of those as you want. And they said to me, I don't have to make a decision on that right now. Once I've had my patisseries, I decide I want to have more scones, I can have them later in the service. Again, it's stuff like that I think just make the service feel a lot more special and like you're really being well looked after. They have also just brought me over some Battenberg cake, which I will try to show you guys without dropping it on the table. But it looks like this, and it's a raspberry Battenberg cake. So again, I'm really, really excited to try that and to see what I think. I'm going to cut into it now and try a little bit of it. But again, it's all the touches like this that just make it feel a bit more premium and elevated and like you're being spoiled a bit, which when you're spending £85 per person, you want to have that feeling of being a little bit spoiled and treated nicely wherever you're having your afternoon tea. So I think they've got the service down here, which I wouldn't expect any less from them, seeing as they are the originators of afternoon tea. So let's try this Battenberg cake and see what we think. That's definitely one of the best Battenberg cakes I've ever had. The encasing of it is a white chocolate flavour, and then you've got jam in the middle. Really, really tasty without being heavy or anything like that. I am really impressed. I am loving this scone service and everything that they brought out with it. Okay, let's get into the plain scone now. So this is what it looks like. It looks really lovely. And like I said, they brought these out warm, which always gets bonus points in my book. So I've just split this one in half. This is what the two halves look like. So let's try this one with the apricot jam and the cream and see what we think. Overall, like I said, I'm just really enjoying the experience here. It's very nice and relaxing. It feels really special. So I think if you've got a special occasion, this is a really good place to come. I think you're going to really enjoy the service, and it's very traditional. So if you're looking for a traditional afternoon tea and for that really kind of London British feeling to it, I think this is a really good one to come to. I think you definitely won't be disappointed. Okay, here is the scone all loaded up. So let's try this and see what we think. That is really, really good as well. I'm not normally an apricot jam person. Normally I stick to the strawberry or raspberry jams, and that's just what I'll go with. But you know what? I really, really like that. And it's a really good complement to the raspberry jam. The raspberry jam is quite tangy, whereas this has a more soft flavour to it. So I really, really like this. I'm going to carry on enjoying my scones, and then once I've finished with those, I will try this little mini ice cream that they've given me, and I'll let you guys know what I think of that. So I've just taken my microphone off my dress just because the live music has started, and I'm hoping if I hold this closer to my mouth, you won't get as much of the background noise. I know when I went to sketch, it was very, very loud. But for my experience when I was there, it wasn't that loud. It just sounded louder in the video because it was picking up that sound as well as my voice. So hopefully the sound quality is better for this one. But I wanted to let you know I've finished my scones now. So let me show you how much of the cream and the jams that I've used up, just to give you an idea of how quickly you'll go through it. So for our clotted cream, there's really not much left there. I would say if there's two of you and they give you just one of those pots, you probably are going to need to ask for a refill. But they're very, very attentive here, so I don't think it will be an issue at all. And then in terms of the jams, I have used that much up of the raspberry jam. That would be plenty for two of you. And then the apricot jam, similar sort of amount, not that much used up. So you're not going to run out of the jams, but with the clotted cream, you might need to ask for a refill. I am now going to try this cute little ice cream shaped thing, and I thought I could pick it up with my hands, but I can't because it's actually like chocolate. Let me show it to you on the plate. I don't know if you guys can see that, but you will have seen it in the inserted clip. It's like this tiny little cute ice cream shaped thing. So let's try it and see what we think. I'm going to cut into it. No idea how you're supposed to eat this. Oh, it's got a really soft cream on the top, and it is not cutting easily, or as easily as I wanted it to with one hand. Oh my gosh, I've absolutely destroyed this. Honestly, you guys, I don't even want to show you the plate of what I've just done. It's not looking very good, but I've got some on my fork, so I'm going to try it. Let me just show you the fork for reference of how destroyed this thing is. Oh my goodness, I've made such a mess. But let me try this and let you guys know what I think. So it's cold, and it's like strawberry ice cream encased in white chocolate with cream on the top. Really, really nice. I really like that. I think it's really cute. It's a nice little novelty thing to have on the table. And if you're going to bring children to this type of afternoon tea, it's the sort of thing they would probably love. There are actually quite a few kids in here, so this is definitely one that you can come to as adults and also with your kids, which I think is just worth knowing. I don't have any children myself, but I just like to point it out in case people are thinking of bringing kids. But yeah, so far so good. I have to say I've been really, really impressed. When it comes to the London afternoon teas that are priced above the £70 price point per person, my expectations are really high, and the reason why is because you are spending so much of your money on this experience. It really should be above and beyond and special. And I know a lot of people book their afternoon teas for anniversaries or birthdays or celebrations, Mother's Day, Father's Day, all of that sort of stuff. So if you're going to spend an elevated price, I expect elevated service. And I will say, so far here, I really do feel like they are living up to the price point. But we still have the patisseries to try. So once they arrive with me, I will let you know my first impressions, and then we can get into reviewing them. And then once we're done with those, I'll give you my final thoughts of the overall afternoon tea and whether or not I think it is worth you spending your money on. So the afternoon tea stand has now arrived with me, and it looks incredible. So you get 4 patisseries or sweet treats with this afternoon tea. So starting at the top, on the left here, we have the raspberry and vanilla trifle. And then on the right, I believe it is the Earl Grey and apricot charlotte. And then at the bottom here, on the left, we've got the lemon and blackcurrant scent honoré, I think it's how you pronounce it. And then on the right, we've got the Langham's vanilla custard cream. And I love that that is shaped and looks like an actual custard cream. I think that's so cute. So that is the whole afternoon tea stand. That is what it looks like. Let's get into trying it. So I'm going to get started first with the raspberry and vanilla trifle that comes in this cute little glass. It's kind of like a shot glass in terms of the size, and I'm excited to try this. It looks really, really good. And they brought me out a fresh plate and also a fresh napkin as well, which again, it's a really nice touch to just keep the service feeling elevated. But let's try this and see what we think. I'm going to try and get a bit of everything on my fork in one go if I can. I should really use a spoon with this, I feel like. But I've got some on my fork, so let me try it and I'll let you guys know what I think. That is absolutely delicious. Really, really nice. I am looking forward to eating the rest of that. It's really tasty. The raspberry in it is perfectly tangy and it goes really well with the cream. And it's just a really nice way to start the patisseries with something a little bit lighter and fruitier. I should also mention I did get another tea brought out to me. So I went with the jasmine tea, which is in this teacup. So I thought we could try this now as well and see what I think. That is really, really good as well. I love a good jasmine tea. It is the perfect kind of floral flavour. And I feel like towards the end of the service, this is exactly what I want and need. So I highly recommend trying that tea as well. Okay, next we're going to try the Earl Grey and apricot charlotte. I will insert a clip of this as well, just so you can see the top of it, because on top of it, it has these really cute details of gold and apricot that I think are just really visually appealing. So I'll insert a clip so you can properly see, but I'm going to cut into this and get a little bit for us to try. Some of these are quite tricky to cut into because they are so beautifully put together. I kind of don't want to ruin them, but we've got to actually try it. It can't just look good, it's also got to taste good too. So I've got some on my fork. Let's try this and see what we think. That is really, really lovely as well. I love the Earl Grey flavour in there. I think it's nice to have a nod to the tea in the desserts. And the apricot has a little bit of tang to it as well that just cuts through that really nicely. I am very impressed so far. Not only do all of these look beautiful, but they taste really, really good as well. Okay, third up, we have this lemon and blackberry tart to try. Again, this just looks incredible. So I'm very excited to get stuck into this and to see what we think. I'm going to cut into it, get a little bit of it to try for you guys, and I'll let you know my thoughts. These are all just so hard to cut into using just one hand, honestly. I'm surprised nothing's gone flying yet, but I'm trying my best to get some of it to try on my own without making an absolutely insane amount of mess. Okay, I've got some on my fork now, so I'm going to try it and I'll let you guys know what I think. That is really nice as well. The lemon and the blackcurrant go together beautifully. I will just say it's quite crumbly and dry in terms of texture. So I think I prefer the other two so far, but that's not to say this is bad. I think it's really, really good. That's just my personal preference in terms of patisseries. And then finally, we have the custard cream to try, which I'm not going to pick up because I think it's chocolate on the outside. And I feel like if I pick it up, it's going to melt all over my fingers. So I'm going to try to cut a piece of this off with my fork and just try it for you guys to let you know what I think. Okay, I've got some on my fork now, so let's try this and see what we think. That is a very indulgent vanilla custard flavour. It kind of reminds me a bit of a Caramac as well. I don't know if you've had those from Cadbury's, but they're my favourite chocolate bar because they're like a caramel milk chocolate sort of hybrid thing. It tastes very, very similar to that. Delicious. So, so good. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish it though because it's so much sweet stuff. This is normally the point at which I ask them to box stuff up so I can take bits of it home for Alex to finish off, because on my own, having all of this sweet stuff is just a bit of a sugar overload. But overall, I'm actually really, really impressed with these patisseries so far, like with everything. I've been really happy and impressed, and I have to say, for the originators of the afternoon tea, they know what they're doing. So now that we have reached the end of the afternoon tea service, you guys know what time it is. It's time for me to give my final thoughts, and we can talk through the pros, the cons, whether this is worth spending your hard-earned money on. So I will say, I think this is one of the best luxury afternoon teas that there is in London. It is at the higher price point of £85 per person. It's one of, if not the most expensive afternoon teas we have tried so far. And always when the price is that high, I have high expectations. But I have to say, they have absolutely lived up to it. The food quality is incredible. The teas have all been amazing, the ones that I've tried. They're all loose leaf teas as well, which I think makes them feel a lot more premium. And the setting in here is absolutely stunning. It's so relaxing. I've got some live piano going on right now. And the chairs, the tables, the setup is just beautiful. So you are going to have a really lovely time if you come for an afternoon tea here. And the service, as I mentioned, has just been so good. They're super attentive. They've changed out the teas for me 2 or 3 times during this service. They've brought me over fresh napkin, fresh crockery. They really look after you well here. So where you are spending a bit more, I feel like the service really, really does live up to that. So would I recommend that you come here for your afternoon tea? I think if you are looking for a more traditional British afternoon tea, absolutely come to the Langham. This is where afternoon tea started, so you've got that history aspect of it. And not only that, but their afternoon tea service is 10 out of 10. It's outstanding. So if you're looking for a special afternoon tea to try, something that feels a bit more luxury and elevated, you need to come here. So let's have a look at where this places the Langham in my rankings. Now, it's no surprise it is right at the top there with Grosvenor House. This is an incredible luxury experience that I definitely recommend you try. I loved it. So I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video and listening to my review. Let me know in the comments if you've got any suggestions of places you think I should go next to try afternoon tea. I always love to take your guys' recommendations, and I will see you in my next video.